All right, guys, we're back here. All right, Calvin. So the moment is now. Who are you trading?
Well, I don't want to trade any of these guys, and I feel like you kind of put me in a tough spot here because I'm going to sound like a terrible Kings fan no matter what my answer is. If I would really want to think about this question a lot longer before I came to a real solid decision, but as of right now, just off the cusp, I'd probably try to trade Tyrese first.
Wow. Okay.
Just because Davion Mitchell is a once-in-a-lifetime type defensive player. I
Okay.
really think that. Tyrese is great on defense as well, but Davion Mitchell is a game changer defensively. And there aren't that many of those people in this league. Plus his ability to score as well.
Buddha says smart pick.
I think Tyrese is probably the odd man out for me at this point.
Yeah, it is a very, very tough question. And the thing about trading a guy like Tyrese, the problem is he doesn't make very much money.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be trading for a big guy, a big name guy,
then it's going to have to be Fox.
like a Ben Simmons, like a Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
I was watching Deuce and Mo last night, and they were saying the Kings have too many guards. And Deuce was saying that he wants to trade for Brandon Ingram, who also makes a lot of money too. So you could take a guy like Tyrese. You could package him with a Buddy Hield or a Harrison Barnes, maybe throw in a Marvin Bagley to add some more salary there and trade one of those guys. But a De'Aaron Fox for Ben Simmons trade works straight up.
Yep.
I'm here on the NBA trade machine. Before y'all at me, I'm not advocating for this trade at all. I'm just trying to talk about it, have a adult discussion about this trade. So if you go to the NBA trade machine, Ben Simmons making $33 million this year. He's locked up for 4 years. De'Aaron Fox, $28 million this year, locked up for 5 years. You're allowed to trade within, I think, 25% of the value. So that deal works straight up. I don't know if the Kings would accept this deal. I don't know if the Sixers would accept this deal, whether some picks would have to be involved, stuff like that. But what's your overall thoughts on this deal? I'm not going to put you on the spot here and ask you whether you're going to do it or not, but just what you've seen in the first 3 games, are you more likely to do this deal now than you were 3 games ago? How many more games do you need to think about this? And what do you think a Davion Mitchell, Tyrese Haliburton, Harrison Barnes, Ben Simmons, and Rashawn Holmes lineup would look like? And what could you expect from that team?
What could you expect from that team? That's a tough question. I just don't know how that's all going to click together. How, Ben Simmons is still a big wild card to me, not because I think he can't play defense or I think he can't help contribute right now. I just haven't seen him on the court in a while. And we're talking about a team that really struggles at the free throw line.
Yep.
At this point, I'd much rather have De'Aaron Fox on the free throw line than Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really tough to me. I also don't know if Davion is ready to be a the man, to be the starting point guard. He's shown he's passed a lot of tests.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely shown that he can play in this league and that he should be really good for a long time. But you're really rolling the dice on that lineup if you're saying, all right, De'Aaron, I know you've struggled so far this season, but he has been the team's best player for the past couple of years. So now you're saying, all right, we're getting rid of our best player. We're basically relying on 2 rookies, Harrison Barnes to continue playing like he's been playing, and Ben Simmons to be the catalyst for this team. It's a pretty big risk.
It is a big risk. Would you be more inclined to do a Harrison Barnes, Tyrese Haliburton for Ben Simmons?
Not the way Harrison's playing right now. Not the way he's playing right now.
And then you're still missing a wing, right?
You're losing a ton of offense as of the way the team is constructed right now if you trade Harrison Barnes.
But you know what they say, right? You're supposed to buy low, sell high. Maybe Harrison Barnes.
True.
We talked about his stats right now, 28 points a game, 10 rebounds. He's shooting over 55% from three-point range. I don't see a better sell high opportunity than that. There's not many guys on this Kings team you could sell high on right now. I mean, you could sell high on Davion Mitchell, but I don't think that would be high since his ceiling is so much higher.
Yeah.
And I feel like Davion Mitchell is such a leader. I feel like he probably has a lot more to say and contribute to this team, but he's kind of holding off because he's the youngest guy. It's only his third game. Versus if he was thrown into a position as the man, he might be getting in Buddy Hield's face for taking a bad shot. He might be getting in some of these other guys' faces for making a bad pass later in the game.
Maybe.
And that's what this team's really missing. Not saying that he will or he will not, but I'm just saying somebody's got to do that on this team. I don't know if I'm seeing De'Aaron Fox do that yet. I would love to see him do that. Watching him play in college, watching De'Aaron Fox, shut down Lonzo Ball, and I felt like he had a lot of swagger to his game, and I'm not seeing that right now. No,
if anybody needs to do that, it is De'Aaron Fox. I mean, this is supposed to be his team. I agree with you. I feel like he is a very fiery player, plays with a lot of emotion. You need to translate that emotion into a positive effect on your team. Mm-hmm. Or maybe even you need to try to be a little negative. Maybe he should take a page out of Michael Jordan's book, and be a little bit more mean to guys in practice or something. I don't know what it is. Davion Mitchell, I think, has that ability as well. But, I never really saw him getting at any of his teammates' faces in college. Mm-hmm. He seems a lot like a lead by example type guy as well to me, which is not bad. I think those are great leaders to have for sure. But you're right. At some point, someone has to step up. Maybe it's Tristan Thompson, starts getting in the face of guys. Somebody has to rattle the cage a little bit.
They're missing their Draymond Green personality on this team. They're Ron Artest or, that guy that's crazy that everyone's afraid of and you don't want to piss him off. We'll see who that will be. One thing to mention, though, this NBA trade machine, Ben Simmons for De'Aaron Fox, straight up, it says that you have not affected the winning percentage of this team for either of them. So it says it's a wash across the board. And it's pretty funny. I saw someone write on Facebook yesterday. They say, De'Aaron Fox is not going to make the All-Star team if he can't shoot. And then someone else commented, Ben Simmons made the All-Star team 3 times in a row. So
that is true.
There you go. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about what Deuce was recommending, and that was trading for Brandon Ingram. The Pelicans seem to be falling off a cliff. The Kings have 2 games coming up with them on the 29th of October and November 3rd. One in New Orleans, one in Sacramento. So it'll be exciting to see how that works out. But they're 0-3 on the season. Zion Williamson has yet to play a game, and he's still having drama with the front office as they were not able to really negotiate a contract extension or anything like that. Brandon Ingram's locked up. 4 years, making $29 million this year. He's playing pretty good. Would you like this Kings team to bring in a guy like Brandon Ingram? This is a 3-part question. What would you give up? And what do you think he could bring to this team?
Would I like to have Brandon Ingram? Yeah, I would like to have him. As of right now, Harrison Barnes and Brandon Ingram are pretty, in my eyes, basically a wash. If anything, Harrison Barnes might be playing better than Brandon Ingram right now because at least I know Harrison Barnes, I can match him up defensively 1 through 4. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I can really say that about Brandon Ingram yet. What I would have to give up to get Brandon Ingram, because of the money, it'd probably have to be somebody like Harrison Barnes. And I'm not so sure that at this point I would do that trade. I like the idea of adding depth at the wing position. But I don't know if I swap Brandon Ingram for Harrison Barnes. I don't know how much better that makes this team.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I was a big fan of Brandon Ingram coming out of college. I thought he was going to be the next KD. But you're right. Him and Harrison Barnes are very similar in what they can do for the team. And I don't think this fixes any of the issues with the team, bringing him. Yeah. It's going to be a lateral move. I think the biggest problem this team needs to fix as far as personnel in the starting lineup is that 4 position. Right. They need to figure out either Harrison's going to be the 4, and we need to figure out who's going to be our starting 3, and we need to be consistent with that. Or we need to move Harrison down to the 3, and we need to figure out who's going to be our 4. Is it going to be Marvin Bagley? Is it going to be Metu? We saw some great play by Metu. This summer internationally, Metu was killing it. I would love to see him at least get in the game and see what he can do. But as far as adding a guy like Brandon Ingram, yeah, I agree with you. Totally lateral move. We need to add pieces, not exchange pieces.
Right.
If you guys have any ideas for trades, let us know in the chat. We'd love to touch on them. RP says this team has no problems scoring.
Well, right now they do. But we said it after the Jazz game. They're just not hitting shots that a lot of times they do.
Yep.
So
Buddha has a good point. Brandon Ingram is younger than Harrison Barnes. That's the only positive that I see out of that move.
Yes, no, that's true. That is true.
Also, a guy with not much experience, has not won a championship.
Yeah.
Got traded for Anthony Davis, and that team got way better. So, hard to say. I feel like Brandon Ingram is very similar to D'Angelo Russell. He got out of L.A., started playing fantastic, but it hasn't really translated to anything.
Yeah.
All right. So